in a short window. How has that transition gone up to this point, Coach?
It's been fast, and it is when you go into it. You got I think they might have signed 7 guys in the first signing period, and that may be incorrect, but it was somewhere down in there. So you knew you had some legwork. Didn't get in the first staff meeting on January 6th, and Coach Pitt was saying we got to have 2 quarterbacks. So time to go to work, and our staff, offense staff, defensive staff, everybody I think did a great job of ensuring that the relationships that they had were still stable and being able to sign a tremendous class.
Talk about those 2 quarterbacks, Felipe Franks, get grad transfer, and then the big one yesterday. And we just talked about it. You've been after Malik Hornsby for several years. Talk about those 2 guys and how they're, what each guy will bring to that quarterback room once we get into spring ball and then fall camp.
Yeah, Felipe's here, so spring ball we'll be able to have him here. Malik Hornsby will be running track at Thurgood Marshall High School, so he won't. But Felipe, just getting a guy who's done it at a high level is the biggest thing. He's proven you can buy a lot of things in this world. You can't buy experience, and he's got it. And so being able to have a guy who's done it at a high level with success. He walks in here, he's got credibility, and so that was huge being able to get him. He's a great football player as well. And then Malik's just an all-around great athlete, really good quarterback, smart kid, and at one point had every offer in the country, so extremely excited to be able to coach him.
Take me back to when you accepted the job with Coach Pittman. Why Arkansas now, and what was so appealing to come and work under Sam Pittman here at Arkansas?
Yeah, I didn't know much about him, and then once I came here and met with him for 14, 15 hours. I just had a great feel around the guy. And, in this business, I've learned that if you're around really good people and you enjoy going to work, then you're going to thrive as a person. And he's going to allow that. And I'm really excited about being around him and coaching for him, helping him be successful.
For those that come to the games, what is your offensive philosophy? Is it aggressive, or how does Kendall Browse like to attack each and every Saturday offensively?
Yeah, it always depends on the defense and our personnel offensively, what you can and can't do. But we want to be a tempo attacking football team, stretching people horizontally and attacking them vertically, whether that's in the run game or the throw game. So that's what we want to be. Hopefully, be productive on top of all of that.
When you go out and recruit at whatever position you're in. Welcome in. It's our Tuesday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio, and we let you hear audio coming in of today's show. A sit down we had several weeks ago with offense coordinator, quarterbacks coach Kendall Browse, the new offense coordinator, formerly of Florida State. Talked a little bit about philosophy that he's going to bring. I feel really excited, and I want to go over to my producer, Demetrius Johnson, real quick before we get this lineup started, because I'm telling you, the Hog guys are ready to roll. We got a full gas tank, brand new tires. We cleaned it up, and we're ready to go. But real quick, I'm going to go over to my producer, Demetrius Johnson, and Arkansas's athletic director, Hunter Yurchek, mentioned yesterday that tentatively Arkansas is trying to start football in July with the season to start in September on the 5th. Where are you at with that? Are you really optimistic that this can happen real fast? We want to get the lineup in order as we still, my producer's getting things in line. So let's get this line set up. First of all, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors. With that being said, Lindsay and Associates with an office location in Fayetteville, an office location also too in Rogers. Locomotion, located just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall in Fayetteville. Corey Beck's Custom Painting, and the one I always talk about, you got to get down there, I'm telling you. KDK's Chicken. It's down at 989 Razorback Road. Meet me there or beat me there. Go see Keith and Kathy, get a plate of that love. And like it says on the building, it's not your mama's, but I added this, the best chicken and waffles in the South. Well, let's get the lineup started as our first stop on the Hog Eye Trail of Coach Sam Pittman. We'll be in Killeen, Texas, where we're going to catch up with 2022 quarterback Omari Evans. We'll find out how Omari feels about Arkansas and other schools, and then we're going to keep it up. We're heading down to the boot and talk to yet another potential boot hog, where we're going to catch up with Devon Manuel, the big-time 2021 offensive tackle prospect, really has a lot to say about this Arkansas coaching staff, and we'll let you tune in at the 1:30 hour, and then we're going to close it out. We're going to make our way to New York. Yes, I did say all the way on the East Coast to Hamburg, New York, where we're going to catch up with 2022 defensive end prospect Jimmy Scott of St. Francis High School. We'll find out what he has to say about the Arkansas Razorbacks. But let's take a time out, get ready to roll, let you hear more audio, and then we'll be back. It's the Tuesday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio on KDSJ 479. Let's get it!
So passionate, so caring, you know, and I can't tell you how many times in our staff meeting I've said that's an Arkansas thing, and it's always in a positive way. But you know, people they say, well, no, I ran into Walmart and this happened. I say, hey, that's Arkansas. You know, you're welcome. You're welcome that you were able to come to our state. You know, so yeah, it's been overwhelming a little bit, and it's been an honor, you know.
Talk about that process. Must have been pretty exciting for you. You get done with the SEC championship game on a Saturday, and then almost within 48 hours, you're here in Fayetteville being announced as the head coach. Talk about that process.
Well, you know, it was, there's little rumblings here and there during the week of the SEC championship game, and then on Sunday is when everything really kind of got rolling, and they came to see Jamie and I and sat out in our home and wanted to visit a little bit, and of course we were excited, you know. To be honest with you, my hair was a little too long, so between working there at Georgia and Hunter and John and Steve Cox coming to the house, I had to get a haircut, so I went to Supercuts, and I put my cell number in. I was number 19, and so I was 19, and I had 59-minute wait, and I had about an hour before.
I like chicken and waffles. What's a good place I can get some chicken and waffles? I know. KDK's Chicken at 989 South Razorback Road. Get on down there and see Keith and Kathy. Get a plate of that love. And like they say on their building, it's not your mama's. The best chicken and waffles in the South. They even got chicken wings, and they got these things called loaded fries. I think you might want to get on down there. Meet me down there or see me down there. KDK's Chicken at 989 Razorback Road. Welcome back. It's our Tuesday edition of On the Hill with Sports Talk Radio here on KDSJ 479. And real quick, Arkansas, Coach Sam Pittman and that staff have really made an emphasis on putting the brand out there, in particular in that 2022 class. So we thought we'd make our way to Killeen, Texas to talk to Shoemaker High School and new Arkansas 2022 quarterback offer, Omari Evans. Oh, welcome to OTH.
Thank you.
Talk about the recruiting process. Omari, Arkansas comes in with an offer just a little over a week and a half ago. What was that conversation like? I know you had the conversation with Coach Sam Pittman, ironically, on the day of the draft. Talk about that conversation, and, you know, what did Coach Pittman say as far as how you would fit in to Arkansas if it's the place that you choose 2 years from now?
He said I will be a weapon in the offense.
Who else? Go ahead.
and we just had a conversation.
Who are some other schools, Omari, that right now, early into your junior season, are showing you high priority and letting you know that you're wanted at their school?
New Mexico. Like my coach said, Baylor, TCU, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma.
And then you looked at your sophomore film at the quarterback position, Omari. What did you feel good about? And then what were some of the notes that you and the coaching staff, your quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, wrote notes down and that you're going to, take it, something that you really have to work on to get ready for your junior year?
I got to work on my arm throwing, more accurate, and making the right reads.
What did you feel good about? That you really felt like you really excelled at your sophomore year at the quarterback position?
Running the ball, getting past people.
Now, I know you can't get into the high schools as of yet, since due to the COVID pandemic, but how are you able to get your workouts in every week, so that you can be ready when you report for fall camp?
My coach brought me some weights, and I do workouts with that, and then sometimes I go to the field with my friends.
I want everybody to know that it just joined us here on OTH, talking with 2022 quarterback at Arkansas Offer prospect from Killeen, Texas, out of Shoemaker High School, Omari Evans. Omari, who are some of the collegiate quarterbacks or NFL quarterbacks or athletes just in general that you like to watch and maybe take parts of their game and add to yours?
My favorite one is Lamar Jackson, and I also watch Justin Fields, C.D. Lamb, Jerry Judy, like a lot of those guys.
Now, the thing that I noticed, we talked about a little over a week ago, Omari, you're formerly from Ohio, moved to the state of Texas, had a chance to play in two states where high school football, is really thought of on a high standard. Talk about the differences and, how has that transition been from Ohio to Texas football for you?
When I moved to Texas, it was way harder. They were bigger and the game was faster.
When you looked and you talked to Coach Pittman the night that both of his young men off that offensive line were drafted in the first round, what was that like to get the offer from Coach Pittman himself, having, witnessed what you just did with the two first-rounders?
It was crazy, and I didn't really believe it.
Now, if I come to Shoemaker High School, Omari, I got my popcorn and soda pop. I'm going to the highest bleacher. What type of football player will I see in Omari Evans for 4 quarters once that ball is kicked off?
I'm going to play hard, all 4 quarters, and do my best that I can.
Could you tell the listeners maybe, Omari, something that they don't know about Omari Evans that you'd like to share to our listeners and those that are watching?
Like what?
Anything. Anything they may not know that you want to share about yourself.
I like animals.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm a big dog fan. Well, little bitty dog, not the big ones. I'm not too cool with the big boys. But Omari, we're riding around Killeen, you and myself, in your vehicle. I'm old school, trying to figure out what's the new music. What's everybody listening to? Omari, in Club Omari Evans, what's the first 5 songs on the playlist that we're going to listen to riding around Killeen?
Grace, We Paid, Emotionally Scarred, Rebels Kick It, and Low Down.
Now, yeah, I can vibe with that. Now, what are you looking for? Or Omari, I know you were going to try to get out unofficially to some schools before this COVID pandemic broke and kind of halted a lot of unofficial visits. What are going to be some of the places you want to get out and see once we get back to normal life and you and your parents can, visit a couple of schools? Who are some of those schools?
I was going to go to Louisville, Baylor, Texas A&M, Texas, and Arkansas, I think.
I like that. Now, I want to thank you for taking time out today, Omari, here on the Hill, and I'm going to make a statement, and if you would, just finish it out for me. When football is done with, for Omari Evans will be doing what with his life after football?
I'll be a veterinarian.
I like that, Omari. Well, my man, hey, let's not make this our last conversation. Let's continue to keep in touch throughout the season. Are you okay with that?
Oh, yes, sir.
Hey, Omari, thanks for taking time out here on OTH, and you have a blessed one, my man.
You too.
All right. That was Omari Evans, 2022 quarterback prospect, offered by the University of Arkansas and Kendall Browse out of Killeen, Texas, Shoemaker High School, Demetrius. I got to go over here to my Mel Kiper. What did you see in the young 2022 quarterback?
I can see that comparison that he made with Lamar Jackson. You know, just saying he has a similar style game to Lamar Jackson.
Well, we're going to continue to step away and get us a quick break. Got to gas up. We're just slightly on a half tank, but we like to ride on full when we talk how guys. So we're going to gas up and then make our way all the way to Sunset, Louisiana, where we're going to catch up with Devon Manuel, the big 2021 offensive tackle prospect that the Hogs hope he'll say woo pig suey. All that's coming up. This on the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Back in a bit.
First guy, and you know, I had been in contact with Barry when I thought maybe possibly Barry Odom, and maybe possibly I'd get the job. And I understand Barry turned some pretty nice jobs down himself to come be with us at Arkansas, so we kind of got it started rolling a little bit, and then you know, I was sitting here on my phone rings, and if I don't have a contact, it doesn't come up with a contact, then I'm not going to answer it, and I'm not better than anybody. I just, you know, I no telling who it is, and maybe I didn't pay my credit card or something. I don't know. But it was Kendall Browse, and I picked it up, and there was no contact on it, and got to talking to him too. So that's how he kind of got in the mix, and you know, then we just went out and tried to find guys that were good that we played against. Right. I really wanted SEC experience on our staff because I just feel like you need it, and you need it in every aspect, but you need it in recruiting because the world is just different in the SEC. And you have to understand the league to understand what kind of talent you need to have success in this league. And I wanted to surround myself with guys that understood that. And so I think we did. And I'm, you know, every morning, 7:30 in the morning, I'm talking too much right now, but every morning, 7:30 in the morning, we have a staff meeting, and it's everybody in the building is in that staff meeting because I want us all to be together. I want us all to be loyal to each other, and I want us all to understand the expectations that are in the building and for the university. And those meetings in the morning, I can't wait to get to. They're outstanding. We kind of pump up a different individual every morning. Somebody maybe even on the periph that they don't get to talk a lot in there, but we want to hear their voice and something that can make us better. And everybody's important. And we need everybody in our organization to be the best at whatever their title is. We want them to be the best in the country, and we feel pretty solid that we're on the right track.
Coached at multiple SEC stops. Coach Smith there at Missouri.
Yeah.
Coach Dickey at Tennessee. You come here with Brett Bielema at Arkansas. And then you move on to Georgia with Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
In your press conference, Coach, you mentioned that while you were at Georgia, it was like recruiting on steroids. What was the one thing that you took from Kirby Smart that you can apply to the aggressive recruiting style here at Arkansas?
It was the relentless effort and the relentless accountability of recruiting. In other words, I can tell or ask someone to go out and recruit, but if there's not accountability into it, then you can slip. In other words, if I'm going to ask somebody to do something, tomorrow I'm going to ask him the result of what he did, then he pretty much going to do it. Right. And so I think that was what I learned from Kirby the most in recruiting was that if there was something being asked, there was going to be an accountable answer for it soon. It might be 15 minutes, it might be the next morning, but hey, I'd like for you to do this.
Welcome back to our Tuesday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio here on KDSJ 479 as we come to you each and every day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. And Arkansas, under Sam Pittman, is trying to get back to that being trench hogs, understanding that it means more in the SEC and it's a line of scrimmage league. So they thought they'd make a way down to the boot and try to find another boot hog in 2021 offensive tackle prospect and major prospect, I might say, Devon Manuel from Beauchesne High School in Sunset, Louisiana. Devon, welcome to OTH, my man.
Thank you for having me.
Get off into the recruiting process, D. You've had multiple conversations with the University of Arkansas. Talk about that relationship and how that's progressing over time since you had a chance to visit the university.
Well, ever since they offered me, Coach Davis and Coach Pittman have been doing a great job building a good relationship with me. They're one of the schools that's really showed to me that I'm a priority of them. Just good from here.
Having the opportunity to play for Coach Brad Davis and Coach Pittman, when you looked at that draft several weeks ago, and you and I spoke before we came on the air, quite impressive for Coach Pittman to have two of those offenses. Tell the story that you told me about how you found out that those were the only two first-rounders taken from what we consider a very, very elite Georgia program that were Pittman guys.
Well, I was watching the draft, but I didn't know that it was Coach Pittman who had coached them. So my mom, after she realized the whole recruiting thing really works on Twitter, she made a Twitter, and she was the one who actually sent me the video of him at home watching the draft, congratulating the guys because she was the one who coached them.
Talk about just the grind. I've watched you over social media. You have a couple of videos that shows, Devon, where you were in 2018 and where you've come to this point. Talk about just what went on to that, and talk about the trainer and how much he's meant to you to get you to this point.
Oh, Coach Usley, he the one who started it all. Him and Coach Lewis, my old coach at Beauchesne. He now coaches at Camp Crow High, but them two, they the reason I'm in the position I am today, because they the only two coaches who really take their time to work with me to develop me as a player. Coach Usley, whenever we first started, I was nowhere being a D1 prospect, and about just 6 months of training with him, I believe I got my first Power 5 offer.
Talk a little bit about some of the schools right now, Devon, outside of Arkansas that are making you a high priority for their institutions.
Well, Indiana. Just about every school that has offered it, like they've made it known that I'm a big priority to them.
Right. Talking with Devon Manuel of Sunset, Louisiana, Beauchesne High School. They're in the boot. A major prospect for Coach Brad Davis and Sam Pittman and that entire offensive staff. When you watched your film, Devon, of your junior year, you sat down with your offensive coaches, your line coach in particular. What were some of the things that you felt like you were really good at, and what were some of those notes that you made here in the offseason that you're going to work on so you can have a big-time senior year?
Well, whenever I looked at my film, I saw that in run blocking, I was real dominant. I don't think one game that I played this year, I don't think one person I missed a block one time on a run block. Like every time I had a run block to do, I just demolished whoever I had to block.
Now I know, Devon, that you have a prior relationship with new Arkansas commit Cole Carson. What was that conversation like? And have you had a chance to talk to Cole since he committed to the university?
Yes, sir. Me and Cole met at a junior day in Arkansas, and after that, me and him really been keeping in touch. We was talking, and then I also have been keeping in touch with another commit. What's his name?
Terry Wells.
Yeah, Jerry. Me and Jerry been talking too, and like I told you earlier on the phone today, I was actually supposed to commit to Arkansas the day after. I was supposed to commit to Arkansas the day after Cole did, but my mom, my trainer, everybody just thought I just should have just waited a little while longer, not rush things. So
it's safe to say, Devon, that Arkansas is probably the leader in the clubhouse at this moment.
Most definitely.
Who are some guys that you like to watch, DM, offensively at the position that you play on the NFL or collegiate levels, and kind of emulate what they do and put it into your game on the weekends?
Well, the only other person who I really, really looked at as far as comparison my game to was Sadiq Charles, the left tackle at LSU, was because I don't know, one of my friends one day just sent me a video of him blocking and a picture of him. He was like, "Hey, bro, you look like this dude." I was like, "Oh, damn, I do look like this dude." And then he had the same number as me, stuff like that. So that's really the only person, the only games that I tune in and I'm watching the game because of him. That's the only thing that brought me to watch a game, from LSU to go watch him.
Talk about, Devon, how important your mom is to you, and how much of a backbone she's been for you throughout this entire process and going forward.
Well, my mom, whenever I make my decision to go to school, my mom and my trainer are going to be the only two people who have anything to contribute to it. And really it's going to be my mom. As long as I have her blessing, I'll go anywhere,
What are you planning on majoring in once you pick your school of choice?
Engineering.
Man, it's a pretty good engineering school here in Fayetteville. But you didn't hear me say that. I won't be accused of tampering at all here on the show. Devon, when I come to the high school there in Sunset, Louisiana, Beauchesne High School, I go in, get my popcorn, my soda pop, go to the highest bleacher in the stadium. For 4 quarters at Beauchesne High School, what type of player will I see in number 77, Devon Manuel?
I think you see a big, dominant, athletic left tackle.
I like that. Now, is it going to be a situation, Devon, are you going to enroll early, or is it something that you and your mom still hadn't talked about and maybe want to take that into that first Wednesday in February before you sign? Have you guys decided on that either way?
Hold on, have we decided on what?
Are you going to be graduating earlier, or is that you're just going to wait till the actual signing day, first Wednesday in February, and make your decision?
No, I don't think I'm gonna wait that long. I think I might actually, sooner or later. I think before the summer begins. I think I'm gonna probably be committed.
Well, we got a place you can commit if it's Arkansas, right?
Oh yes, I already know.
Now let's have a little fun. Want everybody to know we're talking with our featured guest here, 2021 offensive tackle prospect from Sunset, Louisiana, Beauchesne High School. Talking with Devon Manuel, and he just stated, you heard it, Arkansas is the leader in the clubhouse. But riding around Sunset, you and myself, I'm an old school cat looking for a new vibe. Devon, what's the first 5 songs on the playlist that I'm gonna check out in Club Devon Manuel?
You said what's my top playlist?
Yeah, what's the first 5 songs you gonna play for me?
That'd be tough. It'll probably be 2 of them will probably be from NBA Youngboy. 2 of them will probably be from probably Lil Wayne, and one of them probably, and one of them will probably be from I don't know. I really just jam whatever is on in the locker room.
Now, also, I talk to a lot of kids, Devon, and we talk about who has the best high school football. I've talked to Texas. They say it's Texas. I've talked to kids from Georgia, Florida, Pennsylvania, all over the country as Coach Pittman and that staff recruiting nationally. What say you on the best high school football? Where's it at?
Oh, you already know it's down here in Louisiana.
State your case. You got to state your case.
Man, you just got to come see us. That's all I can say. You just got to come see us. Louisiana was down here.
Now, last question. I'm going to make a statement, and I want you to finish this for me, Devon. When football is over with, for Devon Manuel of Beauchesne High School in Sunset, Louisiana. What will Devon be doing with life after football?
All right. So here's how. If my life could go as planned 100%, this is how my life is gonna go down. I'm gonna graduate from school next year, 2021. I'm enroll in college. I'm gonna play 3 or 4 years, make it to the NFL. You know, hopefully have a good career doing that. Then, what I really want to do is I want to actually coach football myself. Like I want to actually be a coach myself.
I can see that.
But, yeah, that would be in my life of us playing. That's exactly how it would happen.
Hey, this in the perfect world. You can come to Arkansas. You can get under Sam Pittman and Brad Davis, 2 great offensive line coaches, and then when you move on, hopefully Coach Pittman or Coach Davis is in a head coach's spot, and you'll get the same blessing that Coach Davis got. One of those guys or Coach Davis can bring you with him. How about that?
Sounds good to me.
Well, Devon, hey, let's not make this our last time. Like I said, you got a commitment. You got a place to do that, correct?
So, for sure.
All right. Well, Devon, you have a blessed one. Tell your mom I said hello. You guys have a blessed day, and thanks for taking time out here today on the Hill.
You too. Thanks for having me.
All right, buddy.
All right.
That was 2021 big-time offensive target prospect from Sunset, Louisiana, Beauchesne High School, Devon Manuel. And you heard it here first, Demetrius. You heard it. Arkansas is a leader in the clubhouse. For those that have listened, big-time offensive prospect. And what you're starting to see is athletic linemen, big athletic and big offensive athletic linemen that Coach Pittman and that staff are really trying to lure to Fayetteville. They're starting to really take notice. We've got 2 big ones in Terry Wells and Cole Carson. And from the sounds of it, they got another big monster about to make his way to Fayetteville. As Coach Pittman is really trying to change the culture of that offensive line. And we're going to continue on and find out what other 2022 prospect that Coach Pittman and staff have really made an impact on when we make our way to Hamburg, New York, St. Francis High School to talk to 2022 defensive end prospect Jimmy Scott. He's up next. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Back in a moment.
And I like chicken and waffles. What's a good place I can get some chicken and waffles? I know. KDK's Chicken at 989 South Razorback Road. Get on down there and see Keith and Kathy. Get a plate of that loving. Like they say on their building, it's not your mama's. The best chicken and waffles in the South. They even got chicken wings, and they got these things called loaded fries. I think you might want to get on down there. Meet me down there or see me down there. KDK's Chicken at 989 Razorback Road.
All the 3 grad transfers were definitely a need basis, and so we went out and got those guys. Again, I'm really proud to be at the University of Arkansas. I have a great assistant coaching staff that knows how to recruit, and very fortunate to have them. With that said, I'll answer anything you won't have. Well, obviously, offensive line is a big deal for us here, and big offensive linemen is what we're looking for, guys with good feet, and it wasn't a and or if they were going to sign with us or not, but it was still fun watching them, with their commitment stuff, even though we had the paper in hand. And then with Malik, he was the guy that we wanted. He's the guy that we went after. He had a great relationship with Coach Briles, and Kendall did a great job of recruiting him and has for a long time. But there's a guy that can throw it and run it, and certainly would be ideal for the type of offense that Kendall's planning on running.
You signed 3 offensive linemen overall. Could you maybe say something about each one of those guys? Obviously, I know you're the head coach now, but that's obviously your wheelhouse. and that's been a kind of a struggle since you left that position. How do you feel about the offensive line overall right now?
Well, they're all three big. They're massive guys. So that was, it's defenses in our league. They have big people over there, and so we wanted to go size to begin with. And of course, we got Ray Curry Jr. In the early signing day, a guy that is a very good athlete. That we think we can develop him. He's probably
Welcome back. It's our Tuesday edition of On the Hill Sports Talk here on KDSJ 479, and we're going to continue on. We got the bus ready, gassed, washed up, put new tires on it, and drove all the way overnight to Hamburg, New York, where we caught up and are going to speak to and bring on here right now from St. Francis High School, Arkansas's major prospect, 2022 defensive end, Jimmy Scott. Jay Scott, welcome to OTH.
How you doing?
Doing very good, Jimmy. Recruiting-wise, heading into your junior season, you have quite the options. Arkansas jumped in here just a while back. Talk about Arkansas and that offering. I know Jimmy Smith is your lead recruiter. What was that conversation like when you were extended that offering? Did he talk to you, or did he go through your head football coach?
He kind of went through my head football coach because I'm only a sophomore right now, so me and him can't really talk. So he kind of had to go through my coach to get a hold of me. But, he basically just told me he was really interested in my film, and he thinks I'd be a good fit at Arkansas. And I agree with him.
When you looked at Arkansas, it's an SEC school in the SEC West conference that I consider the best division in all of football. How much of that will be a factor, Jimmy, when you make that decision? You got 2 years of football at high school, but, how much will you look at, what conference, because in the SEC, a lot of pro players come out of that. Will that be a major factor when making that final decision?
Honestly, it's just wherever I feel most comfortable at. SEC, ACC, Big Ten, those are all great football conferences. It all depends where I feel comfortable at, where I feel most welcome and at home. And at Arkansas, just talking to coaches, I definitely feel that way.
I looked at your film earlier, Jimmy. You play running back as well. Quite
right back too.
Is Arkansas recruiting you solely for defensive end, or how has that conversation go? Any school recruiting you as running back?
A lot of coaches like the film at running back. But not really. I'm not really being recruited as a running back, more of a defensive end, outside backer.
What did you feel good about, Jimmy, when you sat down with your defensive coaches, coordinator, position coach, and looked at that sophomore film? What did you feel good about, and what were some of those notes that you and the staff made that you would make high priority to improve on to get ready for your junior season?
Really just my get off the line of scrimmage. So that's definitely something I think I need to work on. And watching my film, it is, so I need to work on. And also my hand movement and use my hands more. Just two things I need to work on. And, just get off and move with my hands more.
You talk about culture programs, but Jimmy, what can you take from St. Francis High School there in Hamburg with you to your college of choice that you can always lean on?
Just the brotherhood aspect. If you play football, those guys in that locker room, those are like brothers to you. So, it doesn't matter where you play at. That's probably how it always is going to be. You know what I mean?
Now, with this COVID pandemic shutting down spring football, a lot of weight training in the off season, Jimmy, how have you been able to continue your workout so that when we do report back to normal life on the football field, you'll be able to, be in some type of conditioning?
I got a pretty big backyard, so just trying to get some work in back there, and I got some weights in my garage, so just trying to stay on top of everything as much as I can.
Now, who are some NFL or collegiate defensive ends, outside linebackers, Jay Scott, that you like to emulate and add parts of their game to what you do on Friday nights?
I'd say Von Miller, Frank Clark, D. Ford, Bud Dupree, T.J. Watt. Those guys, I like to watch their film. They get off the ball crazy. And, they play hard every single down. They go get the quarterback. So those are some guys that I look up to and on the pro level.
What will be some of the things that you look for, Jim, here in the next 2 years to put one school ahead of another, so to speak?
Just keeping it real. Just keeping it real with me. From the football aspect to the academic aspect. Just being 100% honest and upfront, not just a salesman pitch. Because that's something you get run into here and there. But
right.
I'm just looking just to keep it for coaches, just to keep it real with me.
Now, when I come to St. Francis High School there in Hamburg, New York, I'll get my Coke, my popcorn. I'm at the highest seat in the stadium. What type of football player am I going to see in Jimmy Scott, number 35, for 4 quarters?
Oh, you're going to see a straight dog, a straight-up dog.
See, that's what my producer said to me. He was whispering to me, this dude can play. Now, let's have a little fun, my man. We riding around Hamburg, New York. You and myself, Jay Scott. In Club Jay Scott, I'm the OG, trying to figure out the new vibe. What's the first 5 songs on your playlist that we're going to listen to?
First 5, all right, number 1, we got Lil Baby, Grace. Number 2, we got Broad Wave, 5%. 3, you got some more Lil Baby. What is it? Emotionally Scarred. What's it? 4. We gotta have some Da Baby. He's the GOAT. Number 5, we gotta take it back. East Coast. We gotta listen to some Jay-Z.
Hey, you always gotta have Jay-Z. Being from New York, that has to be like one of the first ones you say, Jay-Z, because he's part of New York, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Jimmy, could you share with us, the listeners and viewers, something about yourself that they may not know that you'd like them to know?
Say it one more time.
Tell the listeners something that they may not know about yourself that you'd like to share.
I'm a good guy. I'm a family guy. Family first, no matter what. I like to play video games. Just like I'm a big kid. I'm just a good guy. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to make a statement, and once again, I want to thank you for taking time out here today to join us here on OTH. But when football is done with, for Jimmy Scott of Hamburg, New York, St. Francis High School, when you've done it all and you've hung it up, what will Jimmy Scott be doing with his life after football?
After football, I'm looking to invest in real estate. Invest in some assets, especially real estate, commercial and residential, definitely.
Well, Jimmy, my man, love having you on there. Hey, this can't be the last time that you grace our airways, right? Our show is your show, and our line is your line. So how about when season starts once or twice a month, let's get a Jimmy Scott update here on OTH. You up for that?
Yes, sir.
All right, Jimmy. Well, hey, you have a blessed one, my man. Good luck on your junior year, and thanks for taking time out here on OTH for us.
All right, no problem.
All right. That was 2022 defensive end prospect out of Hamburg, New York, St. Francis High School, Jimmy Scott. That's a big-time prospect, Demetrius. I'm talking about major prospect. This kid has a lot of options, and Arkansas is going to be in there. You just have to give props to Coach Pittman and that staff for how they've been able to get the brand across on the national scene, not just locally or regionally, but nationally. All the way up in Hamburg, New York, St. Francis High School at a guy that I think is going to be a major prospect his senior year, Jimmy Scott. Felt really good about Arkansas, but want to give a shout out to all of our guests that joined us today, as this would not be possible without them. First off, want to thank Omar Evans of Killeen, Texas, Shoemaker High School. The 2022 quarterback came on and shared his thoughts about where Arkansas is in his recruiting. Also, too, want to give a shout out to 2021 offensive tackle prospect from Sunset, Louisiana, Beauchesne High School, Devon Manuel. You kind of know Arkansas's the leader in the clubhouse. He said it, I didn't. But if he commits, he might commit somewhere to me. I don't know where, but we'll definitely have it if he does. And lastly, our final guest, Jimmy Scott of Hamburg, New York, St. Francis High School, the 2022 defensive end prospect. Like I said, he's going to have a lot of options at the end when his senior year rolls around come signing day. But I want to give a shout out real quick to our sponsors. With that being said, Lindsay and Associates, with an office location in Fayetteville, an office location also too in Rogers. Locomotion, located just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall. Corey Beck's Custom Painting, and lastly, KDK's Chicken, located at 989 South Razorback Road. Meet me there or beat me there. Go see Keith and Kathy, get a plate of that love. Like to stay on the building. It's not your mama's, but we added this. Best chicken and waffles in the South. But that's going to do it for our Tuesday edition. We got more Hog Guys. I'm telling you, they don't stop watching, so we're not either. We're going to bring it to you as we only know how to do. That'll wrap it up from my producer, Demetrius Johnson, to myself, to you viewers. Thanks for all your support. Continue to listen. If you have questions during our interviews, hey, don't hesitate to shoot them out. We'll ask the kids some of your questions. Just makes it even more. But that's going to do it. Until tomorrow. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. You guys have a blessed one, and let's get it.